Again? We're gonna pretend to be outraged again? We're gonna pretend to be triggered. We are gonna pretend to be offended over a joke? Really? You know, when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me about what he called the good old days of the 1960s and the 1970s. He used to talk about Woodstock, peace, love, and rock and roll. He would talk about the counterculture, the kids revolting against the government, the war in Vietnam. And as most dads do with their kids, he would explain why my generation was not anything like his generation. You kids today are spoiled, walking down the street with your headphones on, listening to that rappity rap music, hat backwards, shirt 2 sizes too big, pants hanging half off your ass. What the hell's going on today? I know your mama bought you a belt. Put the damn thing on and pull those damn pants up. You know, there's no doubt that millennials were different than baby boomers. We were different than Gen Xers. We like different music. We were the first generation to grow up with the internet, first generation to have cell phones. Honestly, I think millennials were the first generation to be truly pampered, at least in a technological sense. But there is a huge difference between being pampered and being entitled. There's a huge difference in being spoiled and being victimized. I don't know what the hell's going on today, but it seems like everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants sympathy. They want people to feel sorry for them. We are living in an era where people want to blame everyone else for their failures. We are living in an era where you have to be very careful about what you say, because one person might get offended, one person might express their fake outrage, they'll gather their fellow virgins from the Boodle Brigade on social media, and they will start a viral movement to end your career. All because you said something they didn't like. All because you hurt their feelings. It is exactly what's happening right now with comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. I know this might be hard to believe for the kids, but we used to have these people called stand-up comedians. Their only job, their only purpose was to make you laugh. And I'm not talking about the fake laughter that we see with Cackle and Cam Harris. I'm talking about talented comedians who made fun of people. All people. Didn't matter your race, your gender didn't matter. Everyone got made fun of and everyone laughed. Everyone had a good time. According to deacons at Woke United Methodist, fun is no longer allowed. Making fun of people, that is no bueno. In order to spread the word about this new addendum to the woke commandments, the deacons, they hired professional victims in the mainstream media to bring awareness to this new directive. This new directive, where compliance, it is not requested. Compliance is mandatory. Now imagine my surprise. Just imagine my surprise when I found out that the deacons hired the Yentas on The View to deliver this message of misery. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, a company that I can guarantee will not be following this addendum to the woke commandments, a company that refuses to be offended over a simple joke. My good friends over at Trump Trends. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's kind of a big election coming up next week. Over the summer, I'm sure you noticed thousands of Trump supporters wearing clothes showing their support of Donald Trump, while people who support Cam Harris, they seem to be in hiding up until recently, because showing your support for Cam Harris, that could lead to your business crashing. If you don't believe me, just go ask the founder of Netflix. If you're gonna show your support for the Trumper, might as well do it in style by purchasing all your Trump gear from Trump Trends. They just released a collector's edition set of gold boots and gold sneakers. These gold-plated shoes, They are made with premium Italian-grade leather, and they're handcrafted right here in America. There's only 1,000 pair of these limited edition boots and shoes that are going to be made available. These are the perfect gift for the collector in your family. With Christmas right around the corner, you can give them a rare piece of history by making them one of the very few people that own a pair of limited edition Trump footwear. Trump Trends is your one-stop shop for everything Donald Trump. And the best part is, when you purchase something from Trump Trends, a portion of your purchase, it is donated directly to the campaign of Donald Trump. So join over 30,000 satisfied customers by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with Trump Trends. Over the weekend, the Trumper held a rally in Madison Square Garden, which, by the way, if you have never been to Madison Square Garden for a Knicks game, I encourage you to go at least once. Whether you like the NBA or not, I promise you, the experience alone is worth the trip. It really is. It really is a magical arena. But anyway, I'm sure the atmosphere was electric in New York City this weekend when the Trumper visited the Garden. Since Cam Harris has gotten so desperate that she is paying, including woke celebrities in her rallies, the Trumper, he decided to do the same. He had Dr. Phil there. He had a comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe open the rally with a comedic set. Now, for those that don't know, Tony Hinchcliffe, he runs the popular YouTube channel and traveling comedy show called Kill Tony. I've caught a couple of episodes in the past. It's basically a group of friends, a group of dudes along with a celebrity guest, and they roast the shit out of each other for 2 or 3 hours. Not something that I could watch every day or every week, but it is entertaining to watch it every once in a while. Now, the media, they would describe Kill Tony as toxically masculine. If this were the 90s and 2000s, Kill Tony, it would be the #1 show on MTV. Kids in their early 20s would love it. Now, of course, they can't love it today because Kill Tony makes fun of people, and these kids are being taught that's bad. Here is Kill Tony speaking at Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden. Try not to be offended. Watch for yourself.
I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Were you offended? Were you emotionally triggered? Were you overcome with fake outrage? And the only way to ease the pain of that uncontrollable outrage was to remove your fingers from the cucumber and spread your misery on social media? Obviously, the dude's joking around. This was not meant to be taken literally. It was meant to be entertaining. Now, was it the best comedy that I've ever seen? No, not even close. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't think it was all that funny, but I also didn't think that it was malicious. I damn sure didn't think it was racist. Hell, Jemele Hill, she complains about the white man every day on Twitter. I never see the woke media call her racist, so why in the hell are we labeling a comedian racist for making jokes? Normal people, we will see these clips and maybe you'll laugh at the jokes, maybe you'll think he is a terrible comedian and should look for another career. But either way, normal people, we will see these clips, we'll watch them, and then we will move on. Not the yentas on The View, though. No! According to the yentas, this was a clear violation of the woke commandments. Those convicted of violating this commandment, they are subjected to a maximum punishment of indefinite sniffs of the boodle breeze that can only be provided by the whoopee cushion. But before that punishment begins, they have to sit through a painfully boring lecture from my favorite yenta, Asuncion. Earlier this morning, Sunny Hostin, she decided to lecture Donald Trump and his supporters on what's inappropriate in a progressive society. Watch for yourself.
Puerto Rico is trash. We are Americans, Donald Trump. We voluntarily serve disproportionately high in the military, while you have bone spurs. And we vote. We vote Donald Trump. Trash. And by the way, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, Bad Bunny, Luis Fonsi, and Mark Anthony have over 345 million followers on Instagram. I think you only have 26 million, since you care so much about size. And we don't like what was said about Puerto Rico. And we know how to take the trash out, Donald Trump. Trash that has been collecting since 2016. And that's you, Donald Trump.
Could you be any more condescending? Could you be any more miserable? What is with these people and their constant spreading of misery? What is with these people and their fake outrage? Sunny Hostin tried to make her point by listing the celebrities supporting Cam Harris, most of which I've never heard of. She mentioned some celebrity named Bad Bunny. Initially, I thought it was Bugs Bunny twin sister. I look up Bad Bunny expecting to see a cartoon character. As it turns out, Bad Bunny is a real person and a dude. According to his Wikipedia page, Bad Bunny is a very accomplished rapper. A rapper? How in the hell did we get here? What happened to rap music? As you guys know, I grew up listening to rap music, real rap music, but the rappers I grew up listening to, they would never make it if they were starting out today. Tupac, he would be considered too violent. NWA, Dr. Dre and all them, Ice Cube, toxically masculine. T.I., which has always been my personal favorite rapper, T.I. would never make it today. I was never a big fan of Eminem, but Marshall Mathers, he would never make it if he were starting out today. Movies like The Nutty Professor couldn't make that movie today. That movie is dangerous. Eddie Murphy is making fun of fat people. He's a fattest. It's so wrong. Make it stop. If the UFC were starting today, they would never get regulated. They wouldn't be allowed on television. That is barbaric! They hit each other in the face! Damn near every show that we grew up watching on MTV never make it today. The Real World? They couldn't make The Real World. God forbid people are allowed to be real. The Challenge on MTV, it's still airing today, but it sucks. It's watered down. They rarely show fights. They rarely show the arguments. All the good stuff that happens, MTV, they're afraid to air it. Why? Because they're afraid to hurt someone's feelings. Fuck your feelings. I know I have been on one lately, especially when it comes to this issue of censorship, because that's exactly what this is, censorship. That lecture from Sunny Hostin, they are trying to scare you into silence. They are trying to instill fear. They are creating this atmosphere where you say one thing that offends people and your career is over. But what they're really doing, they are robbing this next generation. They are taking away their opportunity to grow up. You know how you grow? You know how you grow up? Pain, criticism. You don't grow by having people tell you how great you are. You don't grow by having people afraid to be honest with you. You grow through pain. The Lizzo is a prime example of this. For years, Lizzo preached this false message of body positivity. She pretended like she was proud to need a forklift instead of a limo. People made jokes about her weight. What ended up happening? Lizzo lost 100 pounds. And you know what? Good for her. But would she have lost all that weight if people were not critical of her? Same concept here with this generation. How can you expect these kids to grow up if they're not allowed to be criticized? Give me your thoughts on this. The Yentas on The View, led by my favorite, Asuncion. They expressed their fake outrage because some doofus made a few jokes at the Trump rally. I don't see the big deal. I mean, they were just jokes. Were you offended by it? Did you think it was inappropriate? Do you guys agree with the fake outrage with the yentas on The View? Or are they only making a big deal about this because it's their last chance to demonize the Trumper and get Cam Harris elected? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow.